The killer in you is the power in me. Pleased to meet you, so good to see. The killer in you will keep me alive. Back to back, self-sacrifice.
One week remains until the Gauntlet for the Gold returns here on Millennium. But tonight we have more qualifiers and more lead up to Crossroads. I'm Chloe, the Troublemaker James, at your service for this evening as we present to you Millennium 96. And like I said before, qualifiers for the Gauntlet for the Gold continue tonight as Noctis loses Kylum and Ron Masal Turbe do battle tonight to face off on one of the final spots of the Gauntlet. And not only that, but we will also see former champions face off as Jotaro Kujo faces off against Squall Leonhardt to decide one of the final slots for the Gauntlet for the Gold next week. But we are getting set right here tonight to start off the night with tag team action. As two men who have come up short in recent weeks here on Millennium in Paul Phoenix and Vamp in the Dudes of Destruction. Solo they have been lacking. Vamp infamously last week was faltered against Tsukasa. But tonight, as I am being told that this is one qualifier to decide leading in to Crossroads, as there will be another Gauntlet match of the tag team variety between Millennium and Prime. And this is going to be one of the one of few matches in the coming weeks to decide who will go to Crossroads in that Gauntlet match for the tag team championships to decide who will become the #1 contender for either Millennium or Prime. But in terms of the competition that Paul and Vamp will be facing off against tonight, they certainly do in fact have competition arising against them. As Lucky and Stinger, two men who just recently this week were a part of the UCWL Krishoni Cup, tonight make their first appearance since being drafted to Millennium. And since losing the Prime Tag Team Championships at the Grand Slam back in December, I must make that very clear that this is their first ACL appearance since that night at the Grand Slam. And the fact that these two are not immediately being thrusted into the position, and the fact that they are saying, screw it, let's work our way up from the bottom, I say that that is definitely one way of being able to earn your way back up to the top by proving that you are just as good as when you made it to the top in the first place. And here we go. First contest of the evening here tonight at Millennium, and it's the Dudes of Destruction facing off against the Q Rangers. Vamp and Lucky starting us off in a good way here tonight in this contest between these two. I will definitely say this, for those of you who have not been seeing UCWL's Krishoni Cup, you are definitely missing out on this matter, because as you've seen right here and now, Lucky is definitely showcasing why the Q Rangers, as former tag team champions on Prime, have definitely become one of the breakout stars of the tag team scene here in ACL in the recent years, and they're showing in the Krishoni Cup as of this video's release date coming out is definitely one of the best showings that an ACL talent has seen since the days of Ken Kaneki in the Young Lions Cup for New Dawn Pro, for those who remember back in the day. And as you can clearly see from the word go, Lucky is not resting on his laurels for even a damn second, and he's going and putting in the work up against Vamp right here tonight in your opening contest. And let's be clear about something with this, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of many massive encounters that we've got on the table here tonight. As I stated at the top of the hour, we have got for you a massive match between former Millennium champions. Squall Leonhardt and Jotaro Kujo will be deciding one of the last spots in the Gauntlet for the Gold, of which I can already tell you right now, we have Tsukasa and Gundham Tanaka already in that matchup. So already, that is a star-studded lineup of a former world and crossover champions in their own right. And we will 100% have at least one former Millennium Champion in that gauntlet here tonight. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, we will decide if we will have a former Millennium Champion or a former World Champion qualifying for that. But getting into the action right here, you can see that as I was talking, Stinger has been brought into the ring right now and is putting in the work against Paul Phoenix, who has been tagged in. You can definitely see, and I will put this on there, that Stinger's integrity in the ring is something that you really need to focus on. But Paul putting in the hard yards, I was going to say putting in the hard yards and putting in the hard stomps onto Stinger right there. I was gonna say, he was focusing a lot and putting in all those efforts on those strikes. And Stinger is putting it in hard against Paul Phoenix there. And almost as if taunting him to get back into the ring to continue this. And putting in those strikes once more and sizing him up and putting him down just like that. And now Stinger trying to focus his efforts, shoving Paul into the corner, making the tag to Lucky as well, sizing him up and wearing him down bit by bit and using his high-flying ability up against Paul's strength. And putting in the strength and putting in for the bridging German just like that. But Paul gets out of it, and just like that, going back into the wishbone as well. Trying to wear down Paul Phoenix, just every little bit does count at the end of the day. But Paul is someone that you need to be on your toes about, because you let up even one smidgen and he will absolutely wreck shop up against you, as we are seeing right here. And now, Snake Eyes right there into the big brute combination as well. And there you can see making the tag to Vamp. Oh, Christ! Putting in a running big brute for good measure as well. Really just putting in the hard yards up against Lucky here, but Lucky trying to get out of it. Right there with a jawbreaker and a drop kick right there for good measure as well. And really this right here is the dichotomy of the Q Rangers right here. A team which has definitely excelled itself. Christ! A crusher from out of nowhere. Only netting a 1, however. A standing crusher from out of nowhere right there. But Lucky only getting a 1 out of it. Vamp getting out of dodge. Vamp trying to absolutely take Lucky's right into commission with that one. And really just putting in the effort right there with Lucky. And now it's not looking good for Lucky as we get right back into it there. Vamp putting the pressure right onto him as he throws him to the outside and choking him on the outside here. And I'll definitely say this in regards to what we've seen from both men in the past. I would definitely say, in regards to what we've seen from Vamp and Paul Phoenix over the last few weeks, it's definitely not been good for either side of the Dudes of Destruction. Vamp at least can say he's at least gotten 1 win in terms of his own, in terms outside of their duo, as he did help World Champion Sho Minamimoto face off in the main event against 2 contenders a few weeks ago. So Vamp can at least attest to the fact that he's been able to get the wins. Paul, on the other hand, I can't really safely say that in regards to this, because as we are seeing right here and now, it is not looking good for Paul, who has yet to net a single win this season. So really, you've got to be thinking to yourself, in terms of who is pulling the weight here, in terms of the wins in regards to that one. Oh, God. But you really got to be thinking to yourself in regards to that one there, that out of everything that has happened so far at this rate, you got to wonder if the Q Rangers are definitely going to be thinking to themselves that this is going to be a massive win in regards to this one for them, especially given what we're going to be seeing here going forward. But then again, focusing and putting the effort all into Stinger at this point. And Stinger not looking good with a massively sized big brute right to his head for good measure as well. And oh god! And just the deadlift power slam just setting him up! Laying him right back down for good measure as well. And Paul only netting a 1 out of Stinger for good measure with that one. And it's not looking good for Stinger here, as he is not. Oh! And the martial arts styling right there for Paul Phoenix! Really dishing it out hard right there for Stinger, and it's not looking good! And the double barrel right there, but with both of those hands. Oh, and the pop-up punch as well. Just really laying down the hurt onto. Oh god. The springboard cross body for good measure as well. You really got to be thinking to yourself here in regards to this one. Paul Phoenix is definitely laying down a hurt onto him, and it's almost as if he heard my comments from beforehand. I know it's commentator's curse and everything like that, but it's really just the tide in this match has definitely shifted hard in regards to what we've seen so far. And it's not looking good here for Stinger, but right now Paul making the tag almost as if trying to just even the load in regards to what we're seeing here. And Vamp taking advantage of the situation and oh god, a double choke bomb right there onto Lucky. Oh, and pulling him as well in that wishbone leg position. And it's not looking good here, but Lucky getting out of it just like that. And you realistically have to wonder what the hell Lucky has planned here. Making the tag right there to Stinger. And both of them just seemingly trying to keep Vamp and both members of the Dudes of Destruction on their toes at this point here. Stinger, on the other hand, idling by right there by Lucky, but he's thinking, making the tag right back to Lucky. Is that really the right move you want to make here? Lucky making a strike and taking out Paul as well for good measure. And Vamp taking advantage of the situation there. Going right back and stomping down and just wailing into Lucky at this point here. I mean, it's not. I mean, you have to realistically wonder if that was the right move to make in regards to that one. Because now Lucky is absolutely feeling the hurt in regards to that one. Oh, God, and that one-handed choke bomb right there onto Lucky, and it's not looking good so far. And oh, God. Setting up Lucky into the corner there. It's not. No! Lucky gets out of it. Lucky gets out of it and dragging him into the corner as well. And looking to take advantage of it here. Setting down Vamp. And now, wait a minute. What on earth is Lucky thinking here? I was thinking he was going to go up to the top rope there. But it looks as though. No! Whatever he was planning, it didn't map out in time. Only a 1, thankfully. But it's not looking good for Shishi Red right now. The Poison Star, however, getting tagged in. And immediately getting brutalized for good measure there. Oh! And doubly as well on the front of Lucky, getting assaulted there for one moment. And right now Stinger. That backhand right there by Stinger. And now Paul getting tagged in again. What on earth is... What on... And Paul immediately going right back into the assault right there onto Stinger. And no, Stinger reversing it again. Keeping up the assault here. Trying to wear down on Paul however he can. And now sending Paul Phoenix into the corner, striking him. And here we go. I think we... No, I was thinking the All-Star Crash was about to be incoming. But no, Paul, on the other hand, getting a good deal of hurt out in regards to this one here. What on earth is Lucky even thinking here at this point? Taunting away onto Paul, and no! Intercepted just like that, and Paul taking full advantage of the situation. And wailing and wearing down on him, and no, Vamp taking advantage of the situation and laying him down. Crucifix powerbomb just like that, and no, Stinger breaking it up. Stinger breaking it up for good measure as well. Wailing down, but Lucky getting back out of it. Oh! Caught Vamp just like that with that Spanish fly. And now sending Vamp into the corner one more time, wailing onto him. And I think this might be where we might be about to see it happen. Here it is, folks. The All-Star Crash! And that might be it. One, no, Paul Phoenix breaking it up. Paul Phoenix breaking it up, and now Stinger has to play catch up at this point. Thinking he might be able to just barely, no, he fakes it, no. He thought he could make the pin just like that, but Stinger quickly realizing that no, nothing in the pool for him. Vamp taking full advantage, shoving him into the barricade. And while we have definitely seen that Vamp and the Dudes of Destruction have been able to play by, have been willing to play by devious tricks in the past, no, a punch right there by onto Paul Phoenix, but no, it does absolutely nothing. And Stinger trying his damnedest to keep the hopes of the Q Rangers alive in this matter. Realistically, at this point, he can only hope to make a tag to Lucky again at this point, but no, it's not looking good here. It is not looking good in the slightest there for the Q Rangers, especially if what we're about to see is going to hold any water here. And once again, taking advantage of the situation, and a double choke, a one-handed choke bomb right there onto Stinger. And once again, it's not looking good here. Sending up Paul Phoenix into the corner, making the tag to Paul Phoenix. And this is where this could be the end point right here. Setting it up for an ego trip. Laying down Stinger flat. And without any hesitation, looking to lay out and take Lucky out from the equation altogether. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, after an unlucky few weeks, the Dudes of Destruction, and specifically Paul Phoenix, net the win, and seemingly maybe punching their ticket to Crossroads and that tag team Gauntlet. Can't say I'm all that happy, but god damn it, tonight they pulled it out.
Last week, you all saw what me and Barrett can do in the ring again, now that we've refocused ourselves back to basics. Master Raven did all the talking for us after the fact, but it needs to be said by us that we've finally woken up. And in case you all need a reminder about that, We'll just ask you to look for the footage from last week and have that be all that needs saying. Soldier is back in top form at last.
And it seems the top brass around here are noticing as well, because they've been selecting people to represent each brand at the next big event for Millennium and Pride Crossroads in some tag team gauntlet to decide a #1 contender for their brand's tag team titles as a reward. So our advice for other teams that get picked for this, because it's no surprise we've already made our intentions clear, is that if you think you're not going to end up another victim at the hands of us two, think again. Think wisely and back down, and let the old god show you why experience always wins over you.
And with interesting words indeed from Barrett and Jax, especially from what we just saw with that tag team gauntlet qualifier. One has to be thinking to themselves, are we going to be seeing a lot more of the vicious side that we've been seeing from Soldier like we saw last week? Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, with that warning in the back of our minds, we set ourselves here for the next matchup here on Millennium. And as I made mention of at the beginning of the show, this is one of the two qualifiers for Gauntlet for the Gold that we will be having next week here on Millennium to decide the #1 contender for Sho Minamimoto's World Championship at Crossroads. And this match in particular is between two former world champions in their own right. One from Prime and one former Millennium world champion. And realistically speaking here, this is someone who has definitely proven that he has come back to essentially turn the tables on his career. And this is someone who, for all intents and purposes, has made it, who in his former Millennium Championship reign was one of the more unruly Millennium Champions, but has been able to turn it around in recent years, especially in recent seasons. And despite coming up short a few millenniums ago against the legendary defenders, you have to wonder if tonight is going to be the night where Ranma Salturbe may very well be on his path to getting back into the Millennium Championship scene and becoming Millennium Champion once more. And here we go, starting it off here tonight between these two. And Noctis is making it very clear from the get-go that he is just as hard-hitting as he was when he broke into Prime and breaking out. But Ranma, on the other hand, showcasing that he has only gotten stronger. Remember, Ranma is one of those that has been here since literally the first year of the ACL's programming. He made his debut on Prime 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's been such a long time now. God, 10 years! If I actually got that correct after 10 years, that is a miracle, if I'm going to be upfront with all of you here. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, Noctis and Ranma, two people who I could definitely say have been cornerstones of different generations of the All-Star Call League. Ranma, definitely I would say, is one of the more harder hitting and... Ranma, I would argue, is one of the more harder hitting of the older generation, of the old guard, and has made it a mission statement of his to essentially continue to bring forth what he calls Salturbe style into the ring. And he has made a considerable effort in calling himself the king of Salturbe style in the last few years. And he has and ever since he became king back in Season 4, he has not flinched. And while I can definitely say he has definitely been one of the more unruly Millennium Champions, I cannot say for certain that he did not deserve the claims that he was saying at that period of time. Hell, he's establishing it right now in the ring that he is definitely one of the more deserving men to really hype himself up in that regard. I would argue that if there was anyone in this league that did deserve it, it would be Ranma goddamn Saotome. But in that other respect, I would argue that someone like Noctis Lucis Kylo, who came in as a member of the Sky High Division, worked through the bullshit that was happening during the reign of Spiral on Prime, the uncertainties of the Sky High Division when it was at its peak, when Black Star was absolutely ruling that division with an iron fist. Only one actually. But Noctis went through all of that, dominated as Sky High champion for an entire season, relinquished it, and established the limit break system during his reign. And one has to argue that Noctis and Ranma have both changed the game in terms of their respective eras, in a sense. That really, it's a meeting of the minds that we are seeing here right now, and the fact that these two are going at it right here for a spot to see who will go to the Gauntlet for the Gold next week, and potentially maybe even earn a championship match against the current Millennium Champion in Sho Minamimoto. I mean, we've already got two packed competitors as it is, as I already mentioned earlier tonight. We already have Gundham Tanaka, who has already made his own mark as in a very different way, but has made his mark regardless here in ACL. And then you have the phenomenal Weight Master Tsukasa, someone who has been here since literally the first night. The longest reigning ACL World Champion, I will forever say this. But these two men could join that! And Ranma may be about to punch that ticket right here and right now with a Saotome rocket, and no! Breaking it out just like that. The Saotome rocket does not keep Noctis down. The Saotome rocket does not keep Noctis down. But Ranma's busted open just like that. And you can see, after everything that Ranma has been through, he's still pulling it out bit by bit here tonight. He's pulling out whatever he can against Noctis! Pulling out the Brain Buster for good measure. Pulling out damn near everything he can in that hard-hitting arsenal of his. Oh, and a step-up enziguri for good measure right there onto Noctis. Noctis, I do need to state, has barely gotten anything in on Ranma at this point. It has been mainly Ranma here. Here comes Commentator's Curse, but no, Ranma going right back onto it. Noctis had one opening, and now Ranma is pulling out all the stops on it, but going for the pin! 1, 2, only 2. And once again, it has mainly been Ranma dominating this match so far. Noctis has barely gotten any big moves in regards to this one, and it really has to make you wonder what exactly Ranma is thinking here in regards to this one, because realistically, he's pulling out everything, and Noctis is barely able to get a single hit in. Really setting it up, the snap right there into the hardline drop kick. And he's just dominating this match like it's nothing here. And Ranma realistically could go for the win at any point. And he is pretty much reveling in it at this point. He's practically, I would argue, he's practically begging for Noctis to try and get any level of an assault back into him. Noctis trying his damnedest here. You can see it in his eyes. Noctis is trying his damn best. Royal Ascent from out of nowhere. And he's trying now. He is absolutely trying to make an effort to get his head in the game here. And this could be where he might be about to finally get it. As he hits the mark of the Kings. right there onto Ranma. 1, 2, no! Mark of the Kings only netting him a 2 count. Noctis going up, top and a splash. Trying to hit it hard right there onto Ranma. Only netting him a 2, however. And Noctis setting himself up to the outside, splashing down onto Ranma for good measure. And now Noctis going right back into the driver's seat for good measure. One has to wonder what exactly he's thinking here as he notices that... Oh! Landing on the back of Ranma just like that, and Noctis has to be feeling a lot of the strain that the majority of this match has thrown against him at this point. And you really have to wonder, just what in the hell is he thinking here after everything? And he's continuing to just focus hardline. And no, Noctis saying, no, I'm not going down like that. And he's sending him up to the top and yanking him right back down for good measure as well. Focusing on the leg. Focusing specifically on the leg that Ranma uses to hit the Saotome rocket with. Thinking that if he can manage to wear him down just like that, the Saotome rocket may potentially be less effective as a result of that. That is smart playing on the part of Noctis there. Continuing to focus hardline and keep it going in regards to this one. But wait a minute, no! Ranma setting up and locking in the Saotome lock. And while Noctis is close to the ropes, he's in no position to grab onto the ropes. He's barely able to even get a finger on them at this point, and he's just flailing wildly at this point here, begging, practically begging to find any level of an opening here, as Ranma has it cinched in tight. We have seen people pass out in this block here, ladies and gentlemen, and you realistically have to be thinking to yourself here, Noctis managing out of it! Try to clip him down the leg again, but Noctis pays the cost for it dearly. Going for the pin again onto Noctis too. Only netting him a 2 again. At this point, if I'm Ranma, what the hell do I have to do to keep this prince down? The answer, however, may very well surprise you based upon everything that we have seen so far in this match. And Ranma focusing heavily and keeping it in place. Ranma continuing to dish out the damage. He just continuing. Right now, no! Continuing to absolutely dish out the damage and then some. And wait a minute again! Saotome lock in the middle of the ring this time! Literally nowhere left to go for Noctis! And he taps! And after dominating the match hard in regards to this match, Ranma Saotome with 2 locking into the Saotome lock, integral in the middle of the ring, just like that. No hesitation, digging him deep, forcing Noctis to tap out to the Saotome lock. Ranma continuing his focused path right back to the Millennium Championship run as a solo competitor. While Dojo Saotome was unsuccessful in tag team action, Ranma is making his statement clear. He wants to be Millennium Champion once more, and he's one step closer as he qualifies for Gauntlet for the gold next week. And we are back here tonight on Millennium. And we are getting set now for your main event of the evening. Another of the 2 qualifiers for Gauntlet for the Gold, which will be taking place next week to decide the new #1 contender for the Millennium Championship. And for this man in particular, it is a pathway to get right back into the spot that he feels he is denied from, and that is the #1 contendership for the Millennium Championship. As the man who got screwed over both at the Grand Slam and, one could argue, at Rebound even, tonight has to earn his way back, much like he was told he would need to have to earn his pathway back to that championships, by getting a chance for the Gauntlet for the Gold, and if he can win Gauntlet for the Gold, back to that #1 contendership. But for this man in particular, it is well and truly about getting back into the winning ways, as Squall Leonhardt has not had the best of luck this past season. Squall could even argue that his start to the final season of the company that he has been in for so long has arguably been his worst in a very hot minute. Losing to the current world champion on the first night, and losing for the crossover championship back at Rebound, and arguably a barn burner against current champion Hiseo. Tonight, his pedigree as a former Millennium Champion has netted him into this opportunity, but will it be enough to net him into the World Championship match at Crossroads? Tonight, for both men, it's about getting back on track, but only one of them can get to that matchup, and we're at that one right now. And now, the gimmick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event for Millennium 96. The final, I should say, Gauntlet for the Gold qualifier between Jotaro Kujo, former Millennium Champion, and Squall Leonhardt, former Millennium Champion. Let's get it on! And immediately, as I was saying all of that, Jotaro Kujo attempted to end this one early, netting only a 1 count against Squall. And Squall following all of that up by going right onto the assault. And as I was saying before, Squall has definitely not had a good start to the season. He might be getting close to finally being able to prove that he is still not down for the count just yet. But one has to be wondering in a situation like this, if Jotaro Kujo is going to be another roadblock for Squall Leonhardt in this regard. And realistically, these two are not in any way, shape, or form people who have not faced off against each other. Famously, last season, these two went to war against each other, and it was part of their war against each other that netted Jotaro Kujo the very same Millennium Championship opportunity that awarded him the chance to become Millennium Championship back at Crossroads 1 season ago. Tonight, he could very well get that championship opportunity again through beating Squall Leonhardt tonight! 1, 2, you were a little bit quick. You were a little bit slow on that one there, Ref. But only netting a 2 count in regards to that one. But as you can see right here, it's not slowing down anything in regards to that. Compared to their war from last season, Jotaro and Squall are definitely having a much less brutal encounter. Jotaro is definitely showing that yes, he can in fact be fair. He can in fact show that despite his brutishness, he can in fact show respect for someone like Squall Leonhardt. But you gotta be thinking to yourself, does that extend to Squall Leonhardt specifically, given the history and given where Squall has been these past 2 seasons, one could argue. Because one could argue that Squall has definitely been playing the background the last 2 seasons. And that potentially maybe costing him a little bit, not just tonight, but also just in general, playing the background, not exactly focusing on the bigger picture and making much of an effort in his regard. But one could also make the argument that someone like Squall doesn't need to prove himself as much anymore. He's definitely done his fair share of proving himself in the early years. Hell, he has done his fair share. One could argue he's done his time, and he's built up a legacy for being an ACL to the point where he is one of the more tenured names in this company, one could say. And I will definitely go to bat for Squall Leonhardt any day of the week! But right now, it's not looking good for Squall, as Jotaro does, in fact, continue to make a continuous effort. And Jesus Christ, the power displayed by Jotaro Kujo, despite everything, too. And right here and now, Jotaro is just taunting away at him. Oh God! Squall, on the other hand, almost immediately going right back onto the assault, absolutely going right there and going right for the assault. And springboard tilt-a-whirl DDT just like that. And Squall definitely continuing to make that concerted effort and punching it hard right there. And oh God, wailing onto the skull of Jotaro Kujo. And wait a minute, the gut wrench, gut buster. 1, 2. Only a 2. Only a 2. Just like that, and continuing to wail and continue to absolutely make that effort right there onto Jotaro. Squall setting him up. Tiger Driver! And right there, these two continuing to wail down onto each other, but as you can see, and as I made that comment, none of them have made the big maneuver, but Stardust! Star Platinum! Just like that, too! Only a 2. Only a 2. Once again, Jotaro going right back onto there. And continuing to just dish out the damage for good measure. Continuing to wear down on Jotaro, on Squall, just like that. And Jotaro, no, the corkscrew splash denied. And now Squall taking back the situation into his control just like that. Oh! And the springboard kick wearing down and just getting Jotaro right into place. Setting him up right here and now. Could be looking to end it off just like this. Hitting the gun blade. 1, 2. No! Only a 2. Again, only a 2. Wailing and putting down Jotaro just like that. And no, Jotaro reversing out of it. These two continuing to wear at each other. 2 of them going right. 2 of them going at it. And considering what is at stake for both of these men, you really gotta be thinking to yourself. You really gotta be thinking in regards to everything that these two have faced off against each other in the past with, and what is at stake right now. You gotta be thinking to yourself, what on earth do either of these men have to do to each other in order to get that final spot? And really, after everything that they put themselves through, especially that suplex on the top of the rope by Squall. I agree. These two, this is awesome. These two deserve it. And a modified power slam right there by Squall Leonhardt for good measure as well. And Jotaro has to be thinking, what the hell do I gotta do to get out of this position? What the hell do I gotta do to turn the tide against him here tonight? And really, I don't know what you can do, especially given what we are seeing right here and now. And continuing to wear down. And Jotaro sending a splash and just setting him right back down for good measure. It is not looking good here. And continuing to splash him and wear him down as well. It's not looking good. Bashing in the skull of Squall Leonhardt right here tonight. It's not looking good still. And trying to wear down on that leg as well. Trying to apply the pressure into where the best areas would be in regards for the gun blade. And continuing to wear down on every body part necessary in order to hit that gun blade one more time. And Jotaro putting in every bit that he can, but he has definitely sustained way too much damage at this point. You can see it. You can absolutely see it in the way that he has just absolutely been dishing it out by Squall. And really, it's not looking good for even men at this point. I'd argue whoever can dish it out one more time against the other opponent, it could be bad! It could pretty much be the death knell for even men in this match. And wait a damn minute. This could be it. If Squall hits this, this could be it for Jotaro! Gunblade! 1, 2, no! The fans are saying hit him one more time with a gunblade, but I don't even think he could! Taking his chances, going over the top rope, sending him right back into the... or at least trying to send him right back into the ring. And it is not looking good right now for Jotaro here. He's taken so much damage at this point. You really have to wonder at what point, what the hell does he have to do? And wait a minute. Setting him up and no! Busting the head down just like that. And Squall, the chops and the assault for both of these men. Again, realistically, it's all gonna come down to one next maneuver as to who the hell can take the other man down just like that. And Squall going up top. What on earth is he thinking here? Oh, splashing him down just like that from the top of the rope. Squall pulling out damn near everything he can to try and keep Jotaro down. 2. Squall has to be getting desperate at this point. Jotaro's taking a lot of damage at this point, but he has to be getting desperate enough. You have to be thinking just what on earth can he do at this point to keep him down one more time. And I think if he hits this last gunblade, it might be it. He's thinking one more time for the gunblade, setting up Jotaro, hitting it for a third time. 1, 2, 3. It took 3 of the damn things. But Squall advances, finally gets a win this season, and goes to Gauntlet for the gold. And next week, Gundham, Ranma, Squall, and Tsukasa will decide who faces Sho at Crossroads.